أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. I'd like to begin by sending my condolences to Sahib al-Asr al-Zaman on the Shahadat of his grandfather, Imam Musa al-Kadhim alayhi salam. We've just come back from Iraq a few weeks back, and actually we spent a few days in the headquarters of Al-Ain, which is in Al-Kadhimiyya al-Muqaddasa. Just around the vicinity of Al-Kadhimiyya, there are over 6,000 orphaned, needy children who are receiving support from Al-Ain. So it just bringing it back to the occasion itself, just around the shrine and the blessed place of Imam Musa al-Kadhim, there are thousands of orphan children who are receiving comprehensive care. And they're not receiving comprehensive care just because they're orphaned. They are needy orphan children, and they're receiving this care. What we saw was not just situations of children who are sad or children who are facing hardship. Some of the conditions were truly unbelievable, and there were things that we do not wish to show and share with people for the sheer gruesome nature of how difficult and how poor the conditions were, and also because it's not Al-Ain's ethos to do this. Al-Ain believes in the dignity of these children and ensuring that although they are in need of support, it's our actual opportunity, and more than that, it's our responsibility to look after the orphan children that have been left behind of the Atba' of Al-Muhammad. So we want to create a culture whereby when we think of someone needy, we don't have to see them in a sad state or in a state which affects their dignity. We need to learn, and we need to try and be in a situation where we give because this is an opportunity that Allah has given us to gain nearness to Him, and it's an opportunity for us to change someone's life without us needing to see the poor state that they are actually in the beginning. But also on the way here, we were looking at the effects of your kind donations as a community, and we know that over 250 boxes have been given, sadaqah boxes, and returned, and these boxes have changed the lives of children and their families. And I want to make this. I want you to. You've changed the lives of these people. It's not something that should just go by lightly. These children were living below the poverty line, and because of your support, because of your donations, you've helped lift them above this. So as a community, we know that over 40, 50 orphan children at least now live dignified lives because of your support. And this is through people who are sponsoring orphans privately or through the sadaqah boxes that you are taking home and that you are generously donating towards. These sadaqah boxes, as you all know, have a unique quality and an ijazah from a Sayyid Sistani that money placed into them counts as received sadaqah. So you have the huge blessing of paying sadaqah from the comfort of your own home. And what that means is that if you have a problem, all the hadith that we hear about the importance of sadaqah at night, curing the ill with sadaqah, you can do that from the comfort of your own home. And that's why when we give these sadaqah boxes, we take your details, we ask about it, we send a reminder, we issue a receipt. It's because we value these boxes. One, from a professional perspective, so that we can issue a receipt, but more importantly, from a fiqhi perspective, the money in there now belongs to the child. And it's already being spent on the child in Iraq, and it's just a transaction waiting to support the orphan children. During our visit, I just want to talk about one happy memory that I have and a sad memory. Some of you remember in last year or the year before, we were fundraising for the Luminous Star Center, vocational training center, which would have workshops to train some of these orphaned youth with skills so that they can look after themselves. Alhamdulillah, the center has opened, the first one in Baghdad, in Al-Kadhimiyya al-Muqaddasa, and we had the honor of visiting a couple of the graduates from this program. So one was a graduate of the mobile phone repair shop. He learned and he was taught how to repair phones, how to change screens, how to fix antennas, things like that within a phone. He had received his certification, and he had opened a mobile phone repair shop. It looks just like one of the ones that you would see on the high street here. It was truly unbelievable to see. We went inside, we saw his certificate from Al Ain, a graduate from the workshop. He had his shop, he had employed someone, and he was earning a living, and he was looking after himself. And his whole life was transformed from a short 2-month program to train him with the skills that he would need to be able to look after himself. Alhamdulillah, this is something that's already happening, and there are children benefiting. And we have other centers in other provinces where children, inshallah, will also benefit from this. Remember that this donation or this support was a sadaqah jariyah form of support, where this support would continue, you'd continue to receive the thawab as long as there are people benefiting from the program. And a more sad or touching experience was during a visit to one of the orphan children in Najaf al-Ashraf, where there was a housing complex that was built by Al Ain of over 55 houses. These are small houses for some of the most needy orphan children who weren't living in adequate accommodation. One of the children that I met there was, his name was Rilla. He was talking and happy, and then during the conversation we were waiting because we were doing some documenting of some of the cases to come and talk to Mu'mineen here. He said, "Oh, let me show you my dad." He took his phone out, or not his phone, like there was a phone, like I think it's the family phone. He took it out and he's like, "Look, this was my dad. He was in Mosul. He was part of the people who were opening explosives, and one of the houses blew up on him." The detail that he would give me was unbelievable. I couldn't believe he was talking about his dad. He's like, "Look," he was flicking to the photos. He's like, "Look, this is a video of him going," but the video actually wasn't showing the moment his dad comes in the video is the moment where the video is corrupt. And that broke my heart, because to him, he was proud to show me that this was my dad, this was him defending the holy shrines, this is him, and this is what happened. But the moment where he could show me evidence is where, unfortunately, the only memory he had was a corrupt version of that. Anyway, he was talking about this with pride. He was proud of all of this, and he understood, from a young age, it seemed like he understood the reason why he existed and why his father did what he did, and he was proud. He said, if you come in Arba'in, he gave me the poll number. He said, if you come here, he gave me the name of the mokib. Above it, you'll see the picture. That's my dad's picture. That's my dad. And when you come, I'll remember to serve you. So this was the way these children were educated and they grew up. Some of you in your ziyarah, you may see someone serving you something. That could be an orphan child, and the child could have been orphaned because their father sacrificed their lives to make our ziyarah possible. Not only have their parents sacrificed themselves, even the children or the youth are learnt and educated to serve the zuwar, to serve the lovers of the Imam. So it's a golden opportunity for us. We are very far away to have an impact, to do something to support these children. What's amazing and what's unique about Al Ain is not a single penny of what's given is spent on admin costs, because everything is covered from the office of a Sayyid Sistani. Everything is spent on the orphan child. The orphan child that it's spent on is a needy orphan child. It's not just anyone that's registered. So there are lots of checks in place to make sure that the people receiving the support are in need of it. From the UK, we know we're a registered charity. We now have 3 offices, 3 locations in the UK. We have coordinators in more than 20 cities. We also have a team in Leicester now, alhamdulillah, where when you receive and return your sadaqah boxes, you'll have more regular opportunities to do so. Do register to pick up a sadaqah box. Do consider sponsoring an orphan child if you want to come and find out more. And if anything, go check the website, check the Facebook page to find out about ways in which you can make a change in the lives of these orphan children. I don't want to take up too much time from the program. If you have any questions, we'll be present on the ladies and on the gents side. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.